am finally sipping with the Swirl Suite.
You are.
Oh, yes, indeedy. We should have had some.
So excited.
I am so excited. I went out and got a haircut just so I would be super fresh, even though this is a podcast.
Welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. We are all in the house once again. Hey, y'all.
Hello.
Hey.
So let's
nice to.
Yeah, we do a round of introductions, just in case this is your first time listening to the show. I'm Sarita, Vine Me Up.
Glennis, Dino Noir. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Swirl Suite.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I'm with Vino 301.
Hi, Tanisha, Girl Meets Class.
And we have a special guest.
Whoop, whoop. I got to find something.
Well, we have a special guest that actually listens to the show, which is rare. Hey, Reggie.
It's rare that people listen to the show or that our guest listens to the show?
That our guest listens to the show. You'd be very surprised.
I listen to.
Oh, go ahead.
I love the show. So I'm Reggie Solomon, and I write Wine Casual, and I am like your biggest fan. I have been listening to your episodes since you've been on YouTube, and in fact, at the end of the episode, I know Sarita is usually the one who asks all these questions. I actually have this special segment I want to do just for you guys to.
Look at you! Look at you! Always an overachiever.
Right. Exactly.
We are here for it. We are here for it.
Most
Excellent.
definitely.
Okay. Well, let's get it started.
All right.
So, Reggie, tell everybody, how did you even get into wine? I don't even think we know that story.
Oh, yeah. So when I was in college, during my senior year, the headmaster of the college invited the owner of a local wine store down the street to come in twice a week to teach the seniors about wine. So for like two hours, like for a whole semester, we would learn about wine the first hour and then drink wine the second hour for 2 days a week for our entire semester.
Damn, what school is this?
Hell yeah,
This was at Yale University. So
Okay.
Okay.
that's a nice
this
plug,
was
Yale.
But this was the first time they did it, like when I was there. So it wasn't like a tradition. It was just something they did. But now it's like a tradition. So that's how I got into wine. I didn't even drink in college, except for one summer. But that was just what a party.
Wow.
That was just one bad time in band camp. That happened.
Yeah. That was just one time in band. It was summer camp actually, but yes, it was the summer camp. That's how I really got into wine. And shortly after, I moved to California after grad school, and I lived in the Bay Area, and so I would go wine tasting every other week in the summer because I just really loved wine, and I it's really expensive in Napa, so I couldn't afford the hotels, so I would go camping up in Napa and Sonoma. Because it's cheaper. You could camp for $30 and get indoor plumbing and stuff like that. So it was cool. So I got to know winemakers and I got to learn about wine. And that's sort of how I got into it.
Hold on, Reggie. I got a quick question. You was out there camping in Napa, really real camping with the tent and all that?
So the campground I went to the most was a campground in Russian River, Sonoma, northern Sonoma. And the campground was next to a river in a meadow of willows. And this is luxury camping. I mean, they had indoor, they had a clubhouse with indoor plumbing, a hot tub on the back. And in the morning they would serve fresh muffins. So,
wait, for $30?
Yeah, well, this was back in 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, well.
And this was in northern Sonoma.
Yeah, it was still expensive out there then too. So
yeah,
that's nice.
That's how I got into it. So.
Wow.
So how long after that, when you were doing all that, did you start writing your blog?
So I really sort of relaunched my blog in 2015. I had started it a little earlier, but I relaunched in 2015 because I was just really interested in like writing about wine. And most of my blog has focused on wine reviews. So just reviewing wines and writing about like my experiences at wine tastings and things like that. So one of the things that happened along the way is I started taking these WSET classes. And so I got better because these classes taught me how to do a systematic approach to tasting wine.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like all the wines I have on my blog, like I write those notes mainly for me. So when I'm in the store and I'm like, I think I had this wine before. Let me go to my search and see what I thought about the wine before. So I figure, like, you could put all your wine notes on these wine apps, but why not put it on my blog and get the search traffic?
Exactly.
That's a good idea.
It is.
That is a very good idea. Reggie, are you still pursuing your master's of wine?
Oh gosh, I am not going to go to master's. Diploma was like, the WSET diploma was like it for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished it in the fall of last year, and it was a great 2 to 3 years of study for that. But the Masters of Wine, they don't really want me because they only want people who work directly in the wine industry.
What?
So Leslie, you can apply.
Really?
And Tanisha, you could apply. But me, Sarita, and Glennis, they don't really want.
Man, I had no
Really?
idea.
Yeah, explain that a bit. So is there like, okay, so you finished the diploma. Aren't there several levels of diploma, 1, 2, and 3 or something like that? Or
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 is diploma, but like, yeah.
Okay, so you go 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you finished 4. So when you started applying for Masters of Wine, you found like a roadblock because you didn't physically work in the wine industry and you just blogged, or how did you come up with that conclusion that they really don't want you because you don't work in the wine industry?
So if you go to their website, I mean, I didn't even apply. If you go to their website, they say like, if you're not working 20 hours a week for 2 years in the wine industry, like they don't consider that. Like if you do anything less than 20 hours a week for 2 years, they don't consider that enough skin in the game.
Wow. So do you think that's because they think you won't have the knowledge to complete the course study because you don't physically work in it? You think that might be the premise behind that?
I don't want to presume to know what they think, but
Right.
I would like to say, why would I want to be a member of a club that doesn't want to have me?
That's true too.
Well, yeah. I think that is, okay, I'm going to use this word. It may be too strong, but I think that is a prejudice within the wine industry that if you are not working directly, like as a som,
Ooh, child.
then people will look down at you. And recently I participated in this judging, and a lot of people, most of the people at my table were either directly in the restaurant industry or what have you. And so when they when people ask you what you do or what have you, and so when I told them what I did, they were like, oh, okay.
Wow. So if there's a bias there, is that word softer?
I think listen, you know what? I don't actually think they have bad intentions. I think they have so many people now interested in wine that they're trying to create barriers because I don't think they have the capacity to take on the interest the intense interest that they get. So I think it was sort of like, okay, how can we get less people in this pipeline? What's the criteria we could put up?
Wow.
Now you can apply for an exception. But part of me is sort of like, you know what? That's going to take like 5 to 7 years to do. And frankly, I don't want to know so much about wine that I can't talk to regular people about it. And that's what I feel that degree would would do. But I think
All
it's
of those
worthy. I
things.
think people
I'm
should
glad
do
you
it.
said that. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm glad you said that. All of that, like, because I agree with you. I think it has a lot more to do with them trying to just separate the people that are just kind of doing it for fun, because there has been a lot of talk about that in recent years with a lot of people taking wine certification courses just for fun, and getting in them, and people who are actually using it and working in the industry not being able to take those same spaces. And then also I would agree with you in what you said. If you get that level of knowledge, you won't still be able to talk to your consumer, because you don't need that level of knowledge to talk to the consumer. Once you have that level, you're going to want to talk at that level, because you're going to do all that work, all that time, blood, sweat, tears. You want to talk at that level, and you will be talking to other wine people. You won't be talking to consumers anymore. So,
oh, that's interesting.
That is an interesting perspective.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
I think on me and Reggie's press trip in Pennsylvania, I had several conversations, because most of the team there, it was like 8 of us, and most of them were actual journalists. And, they were asking about my podcast and what it's about. And I was like, it's about wine. And I could tell that, they had a lot of questions. I had to explain to them that the wine industry isn't really our audience. It's people who look like us and sound like us. And of course, the wine industry, they tap in, like Reggie, listen to the show, but the majority of our audience aren't the people in the industry.
Interesting.
Agreed.
that's how we like it.
But I think it speaks to that wine is popular.
Right.
And people want to feel comfortable talking about wine. And they just don't want to, as Glennis says, refer to it as a color in the Crayola 8 that is red or white. They want to have some level of conversation when they are wine tasting, or trying to learn how to explore about different varietals or what have you. So I think there's an audience for everyone. I understand where you need to build some exclusion, but we're in a time of inclusion.
Right.
And I think there's opportunity for everyone.
Yep.
And those people who are casual wine drinkers are not serious about it, they will weed themselves out.
Yeah, they will.
Exactly. Like you all said, just to piggyback, some folks just want to be comfortable when somebody hands them a wine list, and be able to pick it knowledgeably or ask some questions that don't scare away the psalm totally. I was being
Man, it's so much easier than taking the diploma.
Oh yeah.
Like it's got to be another resource before you go, like, put in 2 years. Like, it's got to be a book I could read, a podcast I can listen to.
Right, exactly.
A couple issues of Wine Enthusiast magazine, and I should be able to,
exactly
do that. But
yeah.
And
honestly, I thought about the diploma once, twice, and then I was like, well, that's like a couple years. I don't want another degree. I need somebody to pay for it. Somebody pay for it. I'll do it.
There you go.
If someone pays for it, I'll do it. Boom.
Tanisha, you have like a Burgundy. You have so many credentials. You impress me very much. So, I really like your story, but more later on that towards the end.
Right now, I'm nervous. Oh, snap. Oh, I feel sleepy. Oh no, our connection's breaking up. What? Hello? It's too much distance. Oh, hello.
Nice.
So Reggie, so we just came back from Pennsylvania, and guys, we tasted wines in Pennsylvania wine country. Reggie, I'd like to hear your take on how you feel about Pennsylvania wines after that trip.
So I'll just talk about the wines for now. We could talk about the experience, but I'll just talk about the wines.
All of it now.
I was actually quite impressed. I know they curated the 8 best wineries in Pennsylvania for us based on their opinion. I was really bowled over by the wines, to be honest. I didn't know what to expect. It's sort of like when I went to Lodi. I didn't know what to expect of Lodi wines in California, and I love Lodi wines now. And I sort of feel the same way I did for the Finger Lakes and now for Pennsylvania.
Wow.
What was it? What is the appeal?
So they have some really great Gruner Veltliner, some really great, some really great Rieslings. They do Cabernet Franc there as well. I actually think there's a great Cabernet Franc story, which is, probably it's something very similar to what Virginia does. And I don't know, Leslie, maybe Maryland is concentrating on Cabernet Franc. I haven't had any Maryland wines, but
It is, yeah, they are.
yeah, I really like the wines. But yeah, what did you think, Sarita?
No, same. I mean, it's Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is not known for wine, so
Right.
I went in with my eyes and ears open. I was just ready to sort of take it all in. And honestly, I have to be honest, I was prepared to taste some bad wines. But then I saw the list of people going on the press tip. I was like, oh, we're probably going to have some great wines. So I was very.
It was Forbes magazine there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how many? You said you went to the 8 best.
Mm-hmm.
How many vineyards and wineries are in Pennsylvania?
How many did they say? Was it like 400 or something?
Wow.
Many?
Really?
There's a lot. I wrote it down somewhere in my notes, and I can't find it at this exact moment, even though I'm flipping through the notes. I'm a big note taker.
I see you standing there with your notepad and your pencil.
Yes.
Vivid memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know how many there are because I only care about the 8.
Tell us how you feel.
According to Pennsylvania Wines, they say it's 270.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what the internet says. But
I mean, that's like very close to Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They talked about Maryland and Virginia wineries a lot.
Oh, really?
They did.
Yeah. That's where a lot of the newer wineries learned, how to deal with the soil that they have and the temperatures that they have. They learned a lot from Black Ankle.
Interesting.
Yeah, they brought up Old Westminster. So it was very interesting.
Talk about Maryland wines. You're gonna have to talk about Old Westminster. So what part of Maryland? What part of Pennsylvania? So was it central Pennsylvania, or more in west, or what part of Pennsylvania were majority of the wineries that you went to?
Lehigh Valley and Lancaster County.
Oh, okay.
It was sort of the Lancaster County was sort of like the Amish portion of Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. I know exactly.
That's where me and Reggie stayed in a caboose.
We stayed in a train.
It was a train.
Shut your entire face. You what? A train?
Listen, we were all concerned.
Wow.
Wait, so like it was a whole train, and then like y'all stayed in different cars on the train?
Yeah, there are different cars, trains.
And they put.
And it was like a full room.
It was
a full car.
Yeah.
So were y'all the only 2 Black people? They put y'all in the caboose.
No.
How about that over here?
had our own caboose.
Okay. Right, say, come on, Pennsylvania, y'all full of Quakers. Y'all trying to separate us.
Can I tell y'all that I recorded myself walking into my caboose on Instagram, just in case something happened to me. So
That is funny.
Oh my god!
So
I don't think I saw that story. Usually,
I know. It's gone now, huh?
So I walked in, and when you walk in, you know, there's a bed and there's a TV, and it's like a tight, you know, it's a tight squeeze, but it was comfortable. So I walk over to this little table, and the Bible is open, and I was like, okay, that's a little spooky. That's slightly spooky.
What verse was it open to?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it?
Can I tell y'all? I don't remember. If somebody watched my Instagram, remind me. It might have been Ephesians or something. But anyway, I say a little prayer, and I read a chapter, and I closed it like, okay, we're gonna put this away, and we're gonna hopefully nothing happens.
Well, at least it wasn't on Exodus.
Oh,
Ooh. Telling you get out. No, okay, I'm sorry.
yeah. But actually, one of the people on our trip, she didn't stay.
Really?
What? Really? Tell us the story. You don't have to mention her name. Just
No,
initials.
it's no story. She said she wasn't comfortable, so she left.
Wow. Wow.
Which is totally okay.
Yeah, it
Which
was
is totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
She didn't make a scene. She did it very gracefully.
Yeah.
I thought that's the way I would have done it had I had the same reaction. Because I was talking to Sarita before. I was like, you saw that hotel, that one in the train.
And it's run by, you know, we were in the middle of the Amish.
Right.
So, and it's run by them. So that's what I was a little afraid of. But
we were in the middle of cornfields, literally, like right across with cornfields. So, you know, you could just see yourself like, what's that movie, Get Out? Like just running.
Drinking some tea and clanking in fine china. Yeah, man.
That is so how many nights were you in the caboose?
Just one.
Okay.
One.
Yeah.
That seems fun though.
But it was fine. I couldn't hear anything. I slept like a baby.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything either. It was great. Like, so Sarita, I'm curious, what did you think of the entire experience? Because there were just 8 of us. So we visited the wineries. So I'm curious, like, what was your opinion of the experience of being on a press trip for the first time, just like me?
Sure. This was my first press trip. I didn't really know what to expect. I felt slightly intimidated because, like I said, everybody there, I mean, even your writing, Reggie, is on like a journalistic level. So I was like the only sort of blogger there, or podcaster there. And, you know, I felt a little intimidated, but it went away eventually. And I just, like I said, I wanted to really enjoy the atmosphere and taste the wines and really just feel everything. And I thought it was good. It took a while for people to actually loosen up. They seemed a bit serious in my opinion, but it's their job. It's their job to write about wine. So they were asking journalistic questions. You know, they were asking all of these detailed questions about the soil and the winemaking process that were like above my head, like, oh, I didn't even think to ask something like that. But I just took it all in. I thought it was great. I thought Pennsylvania wineries were extremely happy to have us there.
Nice.
They weren't particular at all. And I can appreciate that. They just want the world to discover Pennsylvania wine. And I can't be mad at that. Some of them wineries have been doing this for a very long time. And we had, Reggie, how many Chardonnays did we taste in that vertical tasting?
Oh, gosh.
Was it 16? 12?
We tasted at least, I think we tasted at least like 20 wines there, and like at least 12 of those were Chardonnays. Like, this guy, he brought out wines. Like, this wasn't about us writing about it. It was about us experiencing what Pennsylvania could do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For like he had his staff coming out tasting the wines, because you can't open that wine for vertical like that
Right.
often. So it was very special. That was Gino. I really liked him.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice experience.
Yeah. It was great. It was great.
Reggie, what were your thoughts about the whole experience?
You know, I really liked it. Similar to Sarita, it sort of felt to me like a pre-conference or a post-conference with a wine bloggers conference.
Oh, okay.
Where it's sort of like a smaller group, and they treat you like really nicely and are trying to like really give you an experience that complements their wines well.
Okay.
So, you know, I thought it was just well done. The people were friendly, super friendly. We went out to this one place, probably the best dinner, which Sarita probably knows right off the top of her head, is Vox Venetti. Literally, they treated us like kings, and their wine showed well. So I was very happy about that. Yeah, it was just a great experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look forward to tasting Pennsylvania wines.
Mm-hmm.
So did they say, I mean, because I've heard rumors, and maybe you can confirm or deny, part of Pennsylvania's issue with exposure is the shipping. And you can't, it's limited to Pennsylvania. You can't ship into Pennsylvania. And they have, from what I've heard, allegedly, reportedly, that their liquor laws are more restrictive than Maryland, which are pretty strict.
So you're right about that. The state is the liquor seller for Pennsylvania, which creates this market inefficiency because the state doesn't care about you drinking well. They just care about limiting you drinking.
Oh.
So it's different. It's sort of like, their shipping laws do not contribute to their wine moving. When we were there, they told us about the restaurants that serve their wines, and they were all Pennsylvania restaurants. So, you know, getting their wine is a problem, is a challenge. But I think that's why they wanted people to come in from outside of Pennsylvania, because nobody even knows to order their wines, even when they go to Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. I think that is a challenge that a lot of small wine places have with limited marketing, because you're not going to say, like, when you think of Pennsylvania, you don't think about you think about Pennsylvania Dutch, but you don't think about going to Pennsylvania wine country.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. If, you know, they have this gem there should be more exposure and opportunity to it.
And I think that's the main reason why they had us there. And I know we went to a few wineries that don't plan to ship outside the state. They want people to come visit them. They even have Airbnbs on the site where you can stay at the vineyard and have a whole weekend experience right there in Pennsylvania. So they want to bring people to them.
Okay.
Well, then so I guess I answered my own question before I even got a chance to get it out. I was getting ready to ask, well, how are they going to get this market of people to come in to stay and visit and experience if nobody knows it's there? But I guess they're now on the path of trying to get the word out by having an event like you guys were able to participate in. So makes sense.
Yeah, I would definitely go back. Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
So Sarita, which Airbnb do you think I would like? Because you know how I am.
Girl, I don't know.
Nothing.
Reggie, maybe you have an answer for Glennis, but
you would have to be in the conductor's quarters.
I don't think that would help.
I love y'all too. Okay, go on to the next question.
Listen, we just know, sis. We don't want you.
I love you. Hey, I'm coming up to visit you, so I got to talk to you offline. Anyway. Okay. Literally.
Reggie, I have one more question before we your segment.
Sure.
What is the wine scene like in Connecticut? I've actually never been to Connecticut.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
I
don't even drink Connecticut wines. We're such in a cool place that you can't really do reds here. And, you know, they do fruit wines, which it's not my forte. It's just not really set up to do wines. They have wineries to have weddings. You know, it's sort of like, it's not, the wine is not a destination. I'd rather go to like New York State, to Hudson Valley or Long Island before I go to Connecticut. But I did want to ask Sarita if I could like just do like a quick rundown of my favorite wines at every winery, just so it's out there.
Go ahead.
Would that be okay?
Oh, that's awesome. Go ahead.
Cool. So we went to this winery, Galen Glen, that did this wonderful Gruner Veltliner and Library Riesling that tastes like the Mosel. Like, wow. I mean, it seriously tasted like Mosel Riesling. I was so impressed. Then we went to Stony Run, which had a really great, and Sarita, I don't know if you tasted this at the dinner on the first night. Larry brought out this Reserve Chambourcin.
No, I didn't taste that.
Okay. Really good. They do it in first use French oak, and it was just really spectacular. I like Chambourcin, so I know it's a hybrid grape, but he brought it out to show us. It was really great. Cedar Ridge did a wonderful Sauvignon Blanc with a Semillon blend, so it was much more sort of a white Bordeaux style.
I love that.
It was really great.
Yeah, it was good.
And then Waltz Vineyards did this wonderful Reserve Cabernet.
Nice.
Which was the best Cabernet of the bunch, because it's hard to ripen Cabernet there, and they don't do a lot of Merlot for the same reason. But this was really great. And then the last sort of wineries were Grandview, which did something called a Grange Rouge, which is a Bordeaux-style blend. And then Vox Venetti did this Bordeaux blend called Polyphony during their dinner. And then the last two were Gaylor Estate with a really great Chardonnay, and then Penn's Woods had the best Cabernet Franc of all of them, in my opinion.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you
for that. What?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to say is, don't sell yourself short. I love the fact that you spent so much time and care on the social media aspects when so many of us didn't spend time on that. And, you know, I might write my nerdy wine notes, but you capture and share more than I ever shared during the actual trip. And you captured much more visually and with the video, and like you bring people into wine, and it's you know, it's a different way of approaching wine, and I love it. I think it's quite valuable. And so, you know, just because we have our colleagues from these journals like the Boston Globe and Palette Press and Wine Business Monthly and Philadelphia Magazine, doesn't mean that what we have to contribute is any less.
Thank you for that.
Yes,
and thank you for saying
well
that to Sarita, because Sarita is selling herself short, so she needs to hear that from somebody else.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
I amen that.
I agree. Can I ask one quick question? With those wines mentioned, Reggie and Sarita, you might have the answer. Where is Pennsylvania pricing at on those type of wines? You said there was a few libraries, a few reserves, and I guess some that was regular. I don't know what tier of wine it was, but where are they pricing at? Or
I would say like 16 to 35. Like
okay.
most of them fall within there.
That's very reasonable.
Okay.
Well, and because they're mostly selling to their local people, they're not pricing it for out of state.
Assumption, right? Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And Glennis, they wouldn't let us buy their library wines. I tried.
Wow, really? Wow.
Which one did you try to
Well,
get?
I wanted the I think I wanted the 2017 Chardonnay. Yeah, that we tasted with Gino, but
that was in the library?
Yeah. It was one of many.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was just saying, since it was a 2017, when I think library, I think, old.
Yeah, we tasted from, what year did it start? 2005?
I think you're right. Yeah, I didn't do notes for that one. I was just experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started at like 2005 all the way up to 2000. Was it 2018? 17.
17, I believe.
Yeah. But they were all great.
Nice. Right. I'm so happy for you all. Matt, I missed the caboose pictures.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't think caboose.
I'll repost it. I'll repost it so y'all can.
Yeah, I was gonna say we need a repost.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Repost.
So Reggie, you can go for it with your segment. We're all ears.
Oh, okay. So I wrote this little thing called Things I've Learned About the Ladies of the Swirl Suite over the years that you might not know if you just started listening.
Oh, gotta go. Time's over.
Connection. I'm like Tanisha.
Listen, Tanisha already hung up.
Okay.
My line went dead 20 minutes ago.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna start with Vino 301, Leslie. So Leslie loves tequila. It's a drink of choice. She is a wine tourism conference attendee, even though she had to pay the business price for the Wine Bloggers Conference. Leslie enjoyed meeting Eric Benet during the first Obama inaugural. In her words,
God, yes.
He is sex personified, as you said.
Yes.
Next one is Drake After Dark. Enough said.
Oh yeah. Hey. Reggie.
And I am so happy you finally found a Sauvignon Blanc you like.
Me too.
Yes.
Oh, she need to tell me which one that is. I forgot because
I forgot too. I remember she found one.
I did. Yes, I did like that one, but it was Kim. With Kim Crawford's wife.
Oh, Kim Crawford. Okay.
Uh-huh.
His their new label. I like their new label.
Love Block.
Yes. Love Block.
Okay.
Love Block Sauvignon Blanc. Erica Crawford.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, okay. So the last two for Leslie are: don't do a Vino 301 tour and offer to say good words about your tour to your boss. and then finally, don't order cheap beer, quote unquote, Budweiser on a date with you unless you're at a baseball game.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Okay, Glennis, you're next.
Oh Jesus.
So Glennis, I don't know if you remember, you were the first person I met at my first Wine Bloggers Conference in the
I
Finger Lakes.
remember.
And you helped me like make friends on Twitter when I had like single digit Twitter followers. And now I'm up to like 5,000, but you helped me
and
figure
I'm
out.
nowhere near that shit. during my damn life.
That's why I was kind of like, wait.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, well, I just want to let you know, like, because of you, I started doing Twitter, and like, I appreciate it, and you helped me figure out how to get invited to the after parties at the Wine Bloggers Conference.
Because that's a thing.
That's the thing.
You're trying to keep us out.
A couple other things about Glennis. Grand Marnier is her favorite spirit.
Hands down.
Mm-hmm.
For wine, Cabernet Sauvignon is your favorite. If you're having Stella beer, you want it in a Stella glass.
You better know it.
Yes, has been a good.
Yep, you love your Cremant, but not from the Loire.
Yep.
You want a good rum punch.
God. Oh my God. Oh, like,
and you have very strict hotel etiquette, slippers only.
whoop, whoop. Oh my gosh.
And then the last is your highest form of wine phrase is freaking phenomenal.
That's it. That's it. And that's a good way to end that. Yeah, that's it. Well, thanks for playing, Reggie. Appreciate it.
Oh no, Tanisha, you're coming up. So next is the next is Sarita. These are things you might not know about Sarita if you just started tuning into the pod. Sarita loves sparkling rosé. You love bubbles, and you are on a first name basis with Kava.
Yeah.
Beer is your least sexiest drink. You like bourbon cocktails, and a house favorite is Bullet. When you realized your husband was the one, you were having white Hennessy White.
That sounds very Sarita.
Yeah. When your husband drinks too fast, when you're having $40 bottle of wine, you make him switch to craft beer. You have become a wine judge over the course of the Swirl Suite and have been doing it multiple times, which is great. You had your first trip to Paris during the Swirl Suite years as well. And you met Tanisha talking about wine after Leslie introduced you, and you mentioned that you like champagne and popcorn. You like Rockman Dunbar from Soul Food because of his bald head and full beard.
And because he's fine.
That too. And then no blue wine for you. You love seafood, but no vanilla pudding, Gabrielle Union.
Wow.
That might be mine.
That's all of us.
Right.
That was awesome.
Okay, and now I'll finish off with Tanisha, things that people might not know about her.
In her
just started
absence,
listening to the
she
pod. Okay. Tanisha says, I'm not good with new people, but she is so friendly and amazing to get to know once you get past that initial barrier.
Okay, that's true.
I'll just say these couple of words: dry gin martini. And just keep that after dark.
Okay.
You like to drink craft beers poured in the glass when you have them.
Mm-hmm.
The gospel song that you listen to when you're going through some stuff is God Will Provide by Kamala Mann. You have wine tasted in Eastern Europe. I can't remember what the trip you went on. But
Serbia?
You talked about, Serbia. Yeah. And then you had some guy you called Serbian Bay, but I never saw him on your Instagram.
That was a 20-minute bay. That was 20 minutes.
That's okay. Listen, it only takes a second to get a shot of a picture.
Photos exist in the world, but that's...
You have made an adventure of exploring France and learning French and including mix-ups like getting served chitlins in the restaurant the first time by mistake.
Sad day in my life. It was a hungry.
But you are my shero because of the way you handle it. Sorry, Reggie.
But the McDonald's after part, I do.
You are also, so Tanisha, you are also a wine judge in France as well.
Yes.
And in 2017, you gave me this song of the summer. Let me just press this button to see if it plays and you can hear it. Here it goes.
That was the joint. Hey.
That was the joint. So you got me into that song, which I really liked, and sent it around to my sister and family, Chocolate. And one of your favorite phrases, or you use it on the pod occasionally, let me upgrade you. Which I like. And then finally, if you want a date with you, a beard would help, but no man bag.
Those are facts. Yeah, those are key facts. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, he got it. Wow.
Okay. Okay.
That's
And then
I
just
forgotten about. I mean, not the beard and the man bag part. No, I'll never forget that. But wow. Oh, listen. For all of these, I just gotta go ahead and give it up.
Okay. Was there anything I said that wasn't accurate? Because if it was, like, let's correct it for the pod.
Oh no, I would have shut it down immediately. But no.
No, I think
correct.
I think you were
okay.
dead. You did tell everybody the name I kept calling you from the first time I met you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I didn't tell it because I'm trying to make you forget.
What did you call him?
I was afraid to ask.
We'll talk about that in the after show.
We forgot. Okay, I forgot.
But I'm gonna respect your wishes. Go ahead, cause you's a guest.
Okay. Okay. My last little bit is I wanted to say that my favorite episode that you guys have done, like the one I watched over and over, it just makes me laugh, is the episode you did with Vermilion Pearl, Reagan Mathis, in a Swirl Suite After Dark.
Oh yeah.
And when you guys talked about the guys who order the Cosmo, it just makes me laugh. and then the part with Tanisha, she goes on a date with a guy who orders pineapple juice.
Oh my goodness. What was he doing? Pineapple juice? Man, I'll never forget that.
That is hilarious.
Wow.
And then I wanted to say, like, the liquor lady, I miss her.
Oh, we miss her.
We all do.
Yeah.
And then the last three things, I know you guys are not. Well, I know you guys are not on YouTube anymore, but I so enjoyed seeing your pretty faces, like on YouTube, and see you guys like talk to each other and laugh. That was so fun. But I know it's a lot of editing work, so no worries, Sarita.
And I regularly do these episodes like not with no pants and full pajamas now. So
and you should. You're impaired. And then the second to last, I love the episodes when you guys talk with each other without guests, because I just find like when you guys are talking about stuff just between yourselves, to me it's so interesting because it's sort of like you guys are like a little family and you get together and I'm like, who's that person not in the family who they invited on as a special guest like me? I want to just hear them. So I like those. And then the last, I wanted to say that I really love seeing Glennis in the Wine Enthusiast magazine last month.
Yes.
That was
awesome.
From the Essence Festival. So You guys
Yes.
have come a long way.
No, that was probably all happenstance and coinky. I just happened to be standing there talking to Roland Martin.
Whatever works.
Exactly.
Match.
Right place at the right time.
I'm trying to be humble. Trying to be humble, learning.
Okay. Well, that's
That
all I
was
got there.
excellent.
Sarita.
That was excellent.
That was amazing.
Dude, it was
Reggie.
perfect.
Slow clap for Reggie. That was
Right?
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Seriously. That was.
Well, we miss you, Reggie, and I look forward to seeing what you write and post during this Australian bloggers conference. And yeah, hit us up and let us know where the next one's gonna be while y'all are in Austria, so we can have an idea where it's going next year.
Oh, we'll do. Definitely, we'll do.
Man, that was so special.
Yeah.
We miss you.
Reggie,
Yeah.
where can everybody follow you and your blog?
Oh, you can follow me at winecasual.com or on Twitter at winecasualhq.
HQ. I like it.
Aren't you on Instagram too?
Oh yeah, I'm in Instagram is Wine Casual. I just started Instagram because of Sarita. So give me 5 years. I have 5,000 followers. So it's gonna take a while.
I don't think so.
It probably won't take that long, Reg.
Exactly.
It's gonna take me a while.
Not at all. Man, that was so special. I don't know what to say.
That was.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Guys, I love listening to you guys. On Sundays when I'm at home, I start working on my wine blog and I turn on a podcast and then I put a window open just for the podcast and I listen to you. So I like the episodes. I like the gifts. You're exposing me to new things in the world of wine, and I'm so glad I have a Swirl Suite.
Oh,
Thank you.
oh my
Well,
gosh. Thank you.
Oh, squish, squish.
That can mean a couple things. Wait, what now, Glennis?
No,
How we go after dark that fast?
I know.
That was a whole moment that you messed up.
Oh.
Did I mess it up or did I enhance it?
It's like
I'm gonna go with the latter.
I don't know.
Okay.
squish, squish, like hug.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Not the after dark squish, squish.
Oh my God.
I just had questions. All right, that's all. Now they've been answered. Thank you very much. We can move on. That is all.
Does anybody have anything to share about their week or something they want to promote before we go?
No.
Life is just life.
Yeah, it's just going and happening and
Exactly.
Tanisha, don't you have something coming up in less than 20 days?
what do I have coming up?
You just
Don't you have a podcast?
come in the post. You just posted.
I was legit like, what do I have coming up? Oh my God. Yes, my podcast drops in about 17 days now.
Nice.
Congratulations. I thought it had already dropped, but you were just planning and leading up to it.
Oh no, leading up to the big reveal of the new podcast, Wine School Dropout. We have revamped, renamed, and recalibrated after getting some French feedback. So
Nice. Are you
and
gonna
it'll be in English first, and then we're translating it to French.
Oh,
Nice.
That's genius. I love that.
Excellent. Are you gonna cast at these wee hours of the morning?
No, I get to interview people at like 2 p.m. It's amazing. Like I record episodes at 10 a.m. It is a phenomenal feeling.
Oh wow. You should stop that. You're gonna get spoiled.
I am. So I can't get too used to that. So forget to set my alarm. No, I won't get used to it. I promise. So yes, thank you for reminding me of that, Reggie.
You're welcome.
Wonderful.
I didn't mention it. No, I used to. But what happened?
Reggie, do you have anything that you are promoting that we can share here
Yeah,
on the Swirl Suite?
No, I do have one thing I'm promoting. It's called the Swirl Suite.
Oh my god.
We have to plan a trip to come up and see you because it's not really that far. It's just a train ride.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, New York is even better to go to because there are wine places to taste there. But it's probably easier for one of me to come down than for all of you guys to come up. So if you find yourselves in New York City for any reason, just let me know because I'm in New York a lot. I'm like an hour away from New York.
Oh, okay.
So I can get down there very easy and happy to go to wine bars and take you to a few of my favorites.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah.
That'd be, excursion for us.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get to come to you guys' Swirl Suite thing you guys had in DC. It sounded really fun.
We need to do that again.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to do another. That was fun.
Maybe around the holidays. What do you think, Sarita?
It depends. Yeah. Tanisha, when are you back on this side of the pond?
This is true. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, we could always.
That's an answer.
We could do one in Paris.
I'm okay with that too.
Yes, I'm kidding. But we have to coordinate.
Okay, so that had to be worked out. Okay.
It's already the Zoom number is going to be as follows.
Before I forget, if you're in DC, I don't know how this happened, but I'm pouring wine at a comedy show.
You Thursday. Do know how. I'm so glad you brought that up because when I saw it, I was like, wait, Sarita poured the wine?
Yeah, okay. So there is a comedian that's been on the show and he really likes wine. He lives in New York, but he's from here. And he started this comedy series called Some Like It Hot. So, short for sommelier. And so he'll have 3 comedians and they're going to do their acts, but in between each act, some wine is going to be poured. So,
and that's going to be you?
I'm going to walk people through 3 wines. We'll see how this goes. We will see how all this plays out. But it should be fun. But if you're here in DC, it's at DC Improv on Thursday. Doors open at 6:30. That's it.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you got a discount code for tickets or something?
Girl, they $25. Get out of here. Discount code.
Right.
So you got a discount code for tickets or something?
It's always the Negroes.
So is that a no or is that a
no? There's no discount code.
Oh my goodness.
So do we ask, what are you drinking? Are you drinking anything? Did we talk about this already?
I don't think we did.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking a glass of champagne.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
What kind of champagne? Shout it out, or unless you can, unless you don't want to.
Actually, I don't even. It's a small little grower. It's in the fridge. It's like I remember this wine club, and they send you stuff that you can't normally get. So it's nothing anybody can get.
Well,
but I opened it yesterday, so I had half of it.
Tasted. That's baller.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? Let me go to the fridge because I don't want to be like that. Okay, it's called.
Yeah, I made him feel bad. He's like, I'm gonna go get it.
Well, that's what you do all the time, Tanisha.
I do. So it wasn't.
It's called. Well, it's called Vauversin, and it's a Grand Cru Brut Blanc de Blanc, and yeah, it's imported by this guy called Garagiste, who's out of Seattle, and he goes to Europe and finds like wines like from small producers. So
what's the producer again? Spell it for me.
It's VAUVERSIN, and then it has like a with like an accent aigu over the top, and then it says OGER. So Champagne,
Oh, okay.
Robertson.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So that's all I know.
Nice. Are you enjoying it?
How can I not?
Okay. Just have to ask. You can't make assumptions.
That's true, but I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it.
Good.
I finished my last glass with you guys.
Aw.
Very nice.
We tasted vicariously through you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go because I don't want Sarita to have to spend all the time editing this episode.
I do have one announcement. I forgot all about this. I apologize. So this weekend there is a concert jazz festival with Jeff Bradshaw and Secret Society and Mike Phillips, and it's called Unwind With Us at the Bowie Bay Sox Stadium. And so it's a concert from 12 to 6 p.m. And I forgot, we are going to be pouring sangria there.
Nice. You're going to have a good time. I love Jeff. He's great live.
Nice.
So I forgot all about that. I shouldn't have, but I did.
All right. Thank you for sharing that.
You didn't forget. It was just delayed reaction.
Yeah. All right, y'all. This was a fantastic show. Reggie, thanks again.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Thanks for listening all of these years. Thanks for your rundown of all our personalities. That was fantastic.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. It's something different too.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, cool guys. Thank you for the invitation.
Travel safely.
Oh yeah, travel safely to Australia.
Yep.
Yes.
We look forward
Oh
to
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some photos, reading some tweets,
Yeah.
seeing some pictures.
It's gonna take some time. I'm not as fast as Sarita. Sarita can get that Instagram story. I don't even know what an Instagram story is.
Yes, you
Oh,
do.
bless your heart.
But it looks pretty when Sarita does it.
Right? Sarita's stories be lit. I'm like, dang, what's Sarita doing? And I be hungry.
All right, y'all. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
everybody.
Bye.
This episode of the Swirl Suite is sponsored by Sip and Share Wines. Sip and Share Wines is a micro winery that produces a variety of artisanal vegan wines. They recently launched their 7 Words collection, which features a different word for every occasion. With words like gratitude and abundance, you can understand why each glass should be sipped and shared with friends during all of life's celebrations. The owner and friend of the podcast, Nicole Kearney, is passionate about creating experience for wine lovers who are often underrepresented by the industry. Learn more by following Sip and Share Wines on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter today. Thanks for checking out the Swirl Suite today, guys. You can follow us wherever you find your podcasts, and we love comments. Please leave some comments on Apple Podcasts, and we love feedback. Please reach out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or our email address, swirlsuite@gmail.com. Cheers.